All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 76, 2023 NFC North in the playoffs. Packer domination, Lions scratch out a win, plus divisional round preview and Bears Vikings season post-mortems. Let's get it going. As always, thanks again for coming back. Trevor, where can everyone find you as we get started?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and at Kempner Sports, as well as YouTube, and on X at RevTrevK.
Absolutely. And we'll have a talk about your Titletown shirt as well. I'm sure that will come into play a little bit on the show as well. But lots to get to on the Packer front. And welcome again, Rhino from Vikings Uncensored. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
We are on YouTube at Vikings Uncensored, Facebook, Vikings Uncensored as well, and YouTube or the Twitter/X-Files handle at Vikes Uncensored. Trying to get on there more and doing more interaction with people on that side of things as well. But we do live shows every Monday, and either a live or studio show every Friday, and try to sprinkle in some more stuff during the week as well. So.
All good stuff. And you can find me, obviously, on NFLOutdated on Twitter, X, on YouTube, and I believe now we are live on Facebook as well. So, and we are going to welcome in Seventh Letter. Where can everyone find you as we get started?
Seventh Letter 4 on Twitter, X, same OG on Instagram and Facebook. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Good evening.
Some of us are doing a little bit better than others on that side, but it's football. It's all good stuff. Rhino talked about interaction, fans. I always love interacting with fans. Trevor, Seventh Letter, you know that, all the good and the bad. I'm starting to kind of embrace that. Got to enjoy sometimes being a villain, a Packer villain. I'm running out of things. I really am to talk about, but I need to find some things and let's just get right into it. I mean, that was just a good old fashioned beat down in Big D. And I'm going to let you have this, Trevor. I mean, take a bow, take all that stuff, all the time you need. Tell us what happened in that wild card round. It's such a shocker.
Yeah, it was absolutely surprising. Like everyone counted us out, and I mean everybody. And exactly, how about them Cowboys, right? It's just, I never thought, like, if you would have said final score be 48-32 Dallas, I think a lot of people say, yeah, okay, we could see that, but we literally, from the beginning to the end, kicked the crap out of Dallas. I think this was the only week that if you were going to cheer from Green Bay, that's the week, because people hate Dallas so much. But just watching this team click on all cylinders defensively, the amount of sacks we had, the turnovers, we haven't had a lot of turnovers this year. And that pick six, like, one of my diehard Cowboy friends is like, I'm done. It's over. And I'm like, well, there's still a lot of game left. But anyways, it was just glorious. Like, and the running game was going, the passing game, that Musgrave touchdown. Are you kidding me? Like, nobody around him. A play call. So it was awesome. We outcoached them. We outplayed them. We had better schemes. Everything worked. And so I'm not expecting that this week coming up against 49ers, but it was glorious, and it was so fun to watch as a fan. And and then to the next level, last thing, Jordan Love was sensational. And like, there was nothing, 157.2 passer rating. Are you kidding me? This guy is the real deal, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I put in our chat that Love looked horrible. That was in fact because I was watching Married at First Sight, and that was the Love that looked horrible. That's the only thing I could watch. I just did not want to watch anything good Green Bay. I don't know about you, Rhino. Did you even want to watch that?
I was stuck watching it regardless because, as I probably mentioned before, half of my family is from the state of Wisconsin, so they're Packers fans. So now, that being said, as much as I despise the Green Bay Packers, I may despise the Dallas Cowboys even more. So, I was kind of on Team Meteor there for most of the game, but, I don't feel bad that Dallas lost. We'll put it that way.
Well, in seventh letter, you don't feel bad that Dallas lost either, do you?
No. Like the great Rasheed Wallace says, ball on lie. You hear me? That's supposed to have been our second seed anyway. You know what I mean? Those 2 home games were supposed to be ours anyway. Ball on lie. And we already know every time Dak Prescott meets any type of resistance, any kind, that happens. Shout out to Matt LaFleur for dialing up. They did not. The plan was, let's not get the third down. Let's take Micah Parsons and that pass rush out of the game completely, and let's just attack them. I don't know. It's like I had to deal with it kind of on Sunday myself with all of the motion behind the line of scrimmage. It really, really just gets people open.
Mm-hmm.
Like just the whole thing. The motion is set there so we can see which coverage you in, and they just ate them up. And with Jordan Love being able to pass off his back foot and all that, the pass rush, I mean, it does affect you somewhat. But when you got an arm like his, man, I told y'all, don't let that man get hot, because if he gets confident, it get ugly. Ugly.
That one touchdown pass he threw off his back foot into the end zone there into like quintuple coverage.
Right.
That thing was on a freaking rope, and it was a beautiful pass.
Right. That's a problem. I don't think really nobody. I don't want to play him again.
And maybe even more surprising. Obviously, this beatdown was pretty surprising for a lot of people. Maybe even more surprising was the news for today that McCarthy is coming back as a coach.
Is he
really? They announced
all right,
that
listen.
today.
Now look. Now, Garrett had the same like this. It's not the coach no more, yo. It's not.
It
hasn't
been
what you think he is, yo. It's not the coach no more, because he got the same kind of records that Garrett had, and they losing to the same.
He's actually got better records than Garrett had.
Yeah, it's the same teams. Same team. It's not him anymore, man. It's not. Who told him to give away? Who told him to think that without Ezekiel Elliott that they'll be all right? Who told him that? Or not even address it and get another power back to the red zone? You can't live one-dimensional in the playoffs. You cannot. It's impossible. You just can't.
I think the same people that said Alexander Madison was going to be a star running back, that same crew.
Right. We know.
No, I wasn't one of those guys.
What's crazy is the Packers have more playoff wins at AT&T than the Dallas Cowboys.
Hilarious. That's hilarious.
Dallas is the one team in the NFL that can spectacularly implode in the playoffs worse than the Vikings can.
I do not know how you lose like that. And then the last 2 years, like just that, like those, I mean, even last year that play, like they came out, like they thought they were smarter than everybody. Like how does, Jerry Jones keep a coaching staff? Like I get it. He's a loyal person, but yeah, he's the one. I mean, they're really screwing things up. Just status quo. I mean, you kind of need, a new voice in there, and it's, I'm not a Dallas fan.
Jerry thinks that the coach isn't that important. He thinks he can coach the team. That's his ideology. This is why he tried it before with Parcells. It didn't really work. He wants somebody where he don't want to relinquish control. His son's the general manager. Like, come on, bro. Like, you don't like it's you need professionals. The league is changing. All the old guard is leaving. Belichick don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? He made Dan Quinn look old on Sunday. You know what I mean? They made him look old.
That's what I was wondering. Like, you talk about Belichick, that almost seemed like obviously when Parcells went to the Cowboys, right? That might be okay, Belichick to the Cowboys, but I just I don't know. You talk about like power struggle and everything like that. I've been told that it's not necessarily Jerry Jones, right? I don't know if you guys heard that. It's more Stephen Jones is doing it, but like it just whatever's. Is it whatever they're doing? It's not working.
He fired Jimmy Johnson for like a statement at it, like he didn't clap at a dinner or something. He fired Jimmy Johnson for that. He didn't fire him because of what he was his production on the field. He fired him because he didn't clap or something at a dinner.
And they finally brought him back this year or maybe a few weeks ago. But obviously, it's becoming about the Cowboys, but, it really was about the Packers. And yes, Trevor, I have to give Jordan Love some due. Like he is looking well. And I know you put that, post on Twitter, Facebook about that Love is the latest Packer quarterback to hate. From the Chicago Tribune, I believe. So I have a lot of 49er, friends on Twitter, on Facebook as well. And a lot of them are, talking crap. And I keep posting, just please end this love fest. This is just, I can't handle it anymore. I just can't.
Well, and it's backed up, right? Like the amount of touchdowns to interceptions in the last how many weeks. The passer ratings has been insane. The accuracy, like the things that we didn't see before. Like there was, like one of my favorite posts ever that people had posted was like, "Man, it was really rough that we didn't know for 5 weeks, and then we turned it around." It was like wow, like just everything's amazing now. For example, like when I was talking to Cowboys fans about their team, and I thought their defense was legit. So like I actually thought the defense of the Cowboys were better than the 49ers.
What?
But yeah, going into that game, there's an argument to be said that they were better. And I was leaning that way. And it's you're splitting hairs at that moment, right? Until Sunday happens. But I said the thing about them is they don't have a run game. And they really have one wide receiver. And people were coming at me and they were like, our core is better than your core. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I think my core is better than yours because you have, and I think CeeDee Lamb's the best wide receiver on the field. Mm-hmm. But that core, I don't think as good as they thought they were. And we exposed them. No. It was so fun.
What I tell you, Trevor, what I tell you last week, I said, listen, you got a number one cornerback, and all you got to do is just don't let CeeDee Lamb run out of control. Y'all have the ability to do that with the type of cornerbacks you have. You know what I'm saying? Like Buffalo don't have the best cornerbacks, but they're fast and they can get sticky. Same with Kansas City. They sticky and they can win. And if that pass rush starts to get home, it can get ugly for them. So I knew y'all had a path to get there because the type of quarterback, like LaFleur knows how to beat the Cowboys. Y'all have not lost. When the last time you lost to the Cowboys, Trevor? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I think maybe since the Favre days, probably. Yeah. Or like early, like late middle Romo, maybe when Aaron first got there. But it's been a long time. And yet they never beat y'all with LaFleur. I knew this was gonna happen. I kind of knew it was gonna be a blowout too. I just was kind of scared to say it because y'all would have made fun of me. But I kind of knew it. I saw it coming. I just because they can't stop the run, and with all of the way y'all offense moves around and everything, and all those they definitely under like they slept on your receivers. I dealt with them Thanksgiving. I know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is. You don't even need Christian Watson. He'll just move everybody back and Romeo Dobbs all underneath.
Speaking of making fun of, shout out to Chris here. Chicago still has a team, question mark. Hey,
Andy, I have to ask you a question.
Hey, we're coming. We're close to 10-7. We're coming. All right.
I asked you a question because now that you've seen what JordanOve can do.
I haven't seen it. I didn't technically see it. Keep going.
Well, in 16 games, the first 8 were kind of up and down, but who you think better, him or Justin Fields?
Oh, you really want me to do this, don't you?
I want you to do it.
Trevor's been waiting for this
live
too.
on YouTube. Tell the
I already
truth.
know the answer.
No. Tell the truth. He has to. He can't. He's not a liar. He's a lot of things. He's not a liar. Tell the truth.
All right. At this point right now, Jordan Love is better than Justin Fields. I will admit that. Okay. Yes. Although I do think Justin Fields has been mishandled. You guys all talk about offensive schemes and everything like that. And I've been, kind of looking at some of the offensive coordinator possibilities for the Bears, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But you talk about some of these offensive coordinators like Shane Waldron, who was with the Seahawks, right? And they just the offensive play design and the concepts and Seventh Letter, you talked about that, like moving players, the motion and things like that. And he's been known to do things with a purpose, right? And that's what's been missing with Chicago is having a play design that makes sense. And you've seen the last couple of years, and you just, it is difficult, for a quarterback to develop, under a play call, it just doesn't know what he's doing. And that's, but when you look at overall talent right now, I will admit Jordan Love is at this point better. Does that make you guys happy? It does, I want to make you guys happy, as if you weren't happy enough, Trevor, on Sunday.
Oh, dude, I am buzzing. Like,
it's hard not to
be in the playoffs. And we're winning games. Are you kidding me? This has been a better ride than I ever thought. Like, there's been turbulence. Don't get me wrong. You've seen me on some lows this year, but this has been. It exceeded my expectations so much, and I'm not saying like we're going to be the next whatever. Like, I'm just enjoying this year. Like, I can't believe it. Like, all these rookies, I in my first video making about this thing, and I'm not going to go long here. It's just like, how are you going to win with rookies and sophomores as your key weapons, right? Like in the aerial attack. And then when Aaron Jones went down, I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. And somehow we found a way.
My biggest thing is, I think there are a lot of Packer fans that just don't appreciate what you have, as far as coaching, as far as the winning. They just don't appreciate it. And like when you had a couple losses, they were like, oh, fire LaFleur. And me, ever since that game at week 1, I've been saying how good LaFleur is, and obviously, every coach is going to have times where they get out coached and things like that. But LaFleur is a dang good coach. So actually I was going to look for a graphic that I had about coaches, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I want to get into, what happened with the Lions, because obviously they did win. A little bit controversial if you look back on it, but anytime you get a W, some of those things are forgotten. That late possible pass interference on Puka Nacua.
Are you serious?
I am. I was talking about that with my son a little bit. So
are you serious? You serious about that? They gave us a false start that we was about to score on that drive, stalled us, and that was another score. So we would have beat them by 10.
I did throw a little bit of water on your celebration, but I can only say so much good about rival teams. I use it all up on Trevor, and so I gotta but tell us, hand out some helmet stickers from that. Obviously emotional win for you and the Detroit fan base.
Well, first I want to tell my son Matthew, man. We'll do the video and everything for you when you come back for a regular season game. You know what I mean? Don't bring your bitch with you though. Don't bring her. All right? Come by yourself. You know what I mean? We'll show you the respect that you probably felt you deserve. But you know what it is. You know what it was. It's a playoff game. Jared Goff is the fucking man, and whatever.
Hey, I met Jared Goff's wife at training camp.
You liked her, right? She's beautiful.
She almost signed my football, but
Jerry saying like, get your hands off my wall. That helmet sticker goes to the the capacity crowd that made them give up those 2 timeouts at the end. That's what won us the game right there. Because Matthew Stafford was wheeling and dealing. Oh my God. Y'all listen. My heart, I couldn't breathe at the end of the game because, I couldn't believe we pulled it out. I've seen Matthew Stafford win, go down the field and win at the end. But just the fact that they had no more timeouts. Dan Campbell won that game. He outcoached McVay. He was aggressive when McVay was conservative, as usual. For all the innovative offenses and everything he does as far as the offensive mind, he is still one of the most conservative, and he loses games like that constantly, wasting timeouts. Jared Goff, man, sorry, man. I knew, I knew we were going to win? That's it, that his first pass. You saw that joint? I said, all right, my boy came to play. He came to play tonight. Mm-hmm. So Jared Goff, Josh Reynolds, the 2 ex-Rams, they get helmet stickers because they knew what this was. It wasn't. It was for Detroit, but he was playing with it like he wanted to really, really win. You know what I mean? Shout out to Matthew Stafford though. Jesus Christ, he still can't score in the red zone though. Always been a thing, problem for him. Soon CJ left. I've seen us lose games the way the Rams lost them. The same. But he's tough. I miss how that ball comes out his hands, man. Oh my God, yo, he's ridiculous. Tell
you what, it was a classy move at the end of the game where he said, basically go win it. I mean,
he's a classy guy, man. He's a classy guy. Matthew Stafford ain't a bad person. His wife is the bad person. She's a bad person. She went out there and said that we booed his kids. We was booing you. Stop it, yo. Stop. Just gaslighting everybody. Come on. I argued with somebody last night about that on Twitter, and I was trying to be respectful. Twitter is not for people that aren't grown-ups and can't just come on, man. You ain't gotta be disrespectful, man.
You just got exactly.
Because he was just, you're a dumbass for thinking she was holding the kid, so that means they was booing the babies and her. No, it doesn't.
No.
You don't know Kelly Stafford, yo. I have dealt with her for 12 years. We know her. All right, we know.
We won't talk about Chicago. What happened with the Bulls and all that booing? That was a completely separate topic. But Rhino, from another fan base that hasn't won a title, what was it like to see? What was it like to see the Lions win that playoff game?
Well, I mean, most Lion fans weren't alive the last time the Lions actually won a playoff game, so we'll let them have that one, But
last time I saw the 1991 last time we won an NFL playoff game. I telling my mom, I had a black and white 13-inch television on top of my dresser, and I watched that game.
I watched it too. I remember because I always loved Barry Sanders, even though he tortured us the entire time.
One at the end,
yeah. But no, I mean, I've kind of got a kick out of some of the Lions fan base on Twitter. Like you said, it's not a place for grown-ups. It's a place for There's been a section that have been on there trying to stir things up on our side of things, that you guys win one playoff game and all of a sudden you're the 2019 New England Patriots. But
well, that's y'all too. That's how y'all acted last year.
See, that's the thing. I think
I'm fully honest. We got some jackasses in our fan base too. Every team has that in their fan base, and those are usually the loudest people on social media.
Right. Sometimes that could be the most fun if you actually don't take it too seriously, like I try to do. But I think that's what I don't like. Obviously, when you talk about sometimes Packer fans do this, or the Lions had a successful season. We got to be happy for them as a team. It's a fan base that hasn't had that experience. Obviously, I was maybe even last year, I think I had picked the Vikings to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, those are teams, and we joke about this on our chat, that, obviously within the division, I'd love to see the Lions, win a Super Bowl. They'd be number one. Vikings would be second. And, in the division, the third team I would love to see it win a Super Bowl would be the Buccaneers as well. But so like with fan bases that haven't had that opportunity.
Don't you want the Bears to win it?
If it wasn't my team, right?
Oh.
Obviously, if it wasn't my team. And obviously never the Packers because, they've had it. Although it has been a little while for Titletown. But we'll kind of get into that a little bit. I want to, before we get into the games for the upcoming year, I just want to go into Post-Mortem on the teams on this side who are not tasting the playoffs at this time. So, Rhino, give us a little bit of, quick snapshot of Post-Mortem for the Vikings 2023 season. What happened?
Well, I mean, our season more or less ended on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field when Kirk Cousins' Achilles went the way Achilles tendons are not supposed to go. We got a little bit of that false hope for 2 weeks when Josh Dobbs became the Pastronaut and beat Atlanta and New Orleans. Then, the entire league figured out that if you keep Josh Dobbs in the pocket, he's completely ineffective. So then we went to Nick Mullins, who can throw for a ton of yards, but throws for almost as many interceptions as he does yards. And, then tried throwing the rookie out there against Green Bay, knowing full well that he was in no way, shape, or form ready to play. And, we kind of were playing with house money after Kirk went down. We did well for the we won 5 games without Justin Jefferson there in the middle of the season when he was out. But, to finish 7-10, yeah, it's a disappointment, but considering the circumstances, it is what it is. We got a lot of stuff coming up here in the offseason. I mean, we've got 24 players that are coming up as free agents, most notably guys like Danielle Hunter, Kirk Cousins. We've got, a Justin Jefferson extension looming in the wings there that we have to take care of. So this team is going to look a lot different come 2024, one way, shape, or form. And it's going to be an interesting offseason, to say the least.
Yeah, that is. I mean, when you talk about all those changes, I mean, obviously you got the quarterback, choice whether they do with, Cousins again. I mean, or even, obviously some of our other Vikings Twitter friends are not a fan of one of the other options, Russell Wilson, and saying let's ride. No.
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 I'm so glad the Bears did.
I would rather have Owen Wilson as a quarterback over Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, he's actually one of my favorite actors. I'd like Owen.
Bring him in.
But yeah, I mean, so quite possibly the Vikings next year, I mean, they could be in the bottom of the division. I mean, obviously they already are now, but Trevor has this. This is an interesting thing. Penix Jr., right? That's interesting.
I like Penix. Mm-hmm. The big issue I have with him is the injury history. That's a major red flag. I mean, he's had the same ACL surgery twice. He's had shoulder issues, and that's in college. You get into the NFL where you got guys, like Kenny Clark or Aiden Hutchinson or, pick your big, powerful defensive lineman / edge rushers coming at you. The durability, I mean, granted in Washington, you didn't have those issues, but it's still a concern for me. He's probably my QB4 of my wish list. If provided we go with a quarterback round 1, which I think we will.
Yeah.
But, my top 2 guys are Drake May and Jaden Daniels. I've been watching a lot of film on those 2 guys, and I think they would fit extremely well. May especially, I think, would fit almost perfectly to what Kevin O'Connell likes to run. Jaden Daniels is a little more off script than what we been used to. But, see, I'm sure you guys saw the news that came out here earlier this week, I believe it was, about the Vikings had tried basically to give up the farm to move up and get Anthony Richardson last year. But the trade partner, who was never disclosed, but we all assume it was the Arizona Cardinals, went elsewhere because they figured the Vikings would be too good and the picks would be late first round picks instead of early round picks. But if they were willing to go get Richardson, Jaden Daniels fits that exact mold. And I think he might even be, he's more polished than Richardson because he's played a lot more games in college. So I'm very intrigued about him. But
I did see some notes on Jaden Daniels that like his fumbles have gone up as well, and obviously you guys
he'd fit right in with us then that way.
I thought Seven Letters was going to say he'd fit right in with the Bears.
No, they fumbled more than y'all this year.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. So yeah, I mean a lot of things coming with the Vikings, a lot of things, and we'll probably get into a lot more in the off season soon as well. I want to obviously do a quick Chicago Bears post-mortem. This is probably seventh letter and Trevor's favorite part since the Bears are done.
I don't like to see you like this, man. So I get no joy in this, man.
Hey, it's all good. This is better than I've come to terms with where the Bears are at. After week one, that was probably one of the lowest points. And I was just like, okay, this is not happening. So we talk about post-mortem, some of the biggest issues offensively, you know me, I'm still a Justin Fields guy. Center, it has to be addressed. The center position was a huge issue, and it just was not addressed. Throughout the season, the offensive line configuration started to get better, and that helps, the entire offense and everything. Having, Justin Fields get hurt, out 4.5 games, looking at it, it was a successful season that way because we were pretty close to 10-7. There were some coaching issues, so that was an issue. And obviously you see it in the players all talking about Getsy and, just how, the scheme, they were not calling the plays to put the players in the best position to be successful. And the players were saying that they were trying not to call it out by name. Obviously, I've also, retweeted some of the videos about some of the NFL players, saying Justin Fields is a great quarterback, but, just some of the play schemes and play calls, they, as NFL defenders, they would have loved to face, so those are the things. It's just, there's a lot of things up in the air, obviously coaching wise. Eberflus, as you know, is going to get another year. This is going to be the issue, though. The question is, do we bring in an offensive coordinator for a year, or does Eberflus get an extension now? So that's the thing. If he gets an extension, so there's a few things coaching wise. But when you look at this season, the Bears defensively really improved, and so I'm trying to look at it in a positive way. Obviously, it's hard to really kind of, focus all my attention on the offseason until at least the Packers also have an offseason. Hey, it really has been a successful year 2 of a 3-year rebuild. And I'm starting to kind of come around to that. I'm also coming around to if the Bears do decide to trade Fields and go with a quarterback at number 1, obviously I'm going to support them either way. When you look at it, the trade wise, I think you get more for the number 1 pick than you could get for Justin Fields. So I think that's the, when you have a quarterback this late in his contract, it's going to be tough to get as much as you get for, a team that could be able to, pick whatever quarterback they want. So I don't know what your thoughts are on if the Bears would pick Caleb Williams or if they would throw a wrench into things and maybe even go with Drake May. So there are a lot of different things.
Don't do that.
Don't do that?
No. Caleb Williams is heads and shoulders above Drake May. to me.
So,
in my
so
opinion.
I tend to go the opposite direction, but
so yeah, I'm gonna actually.
I'm not a Caleb Williams fan. Honestly, there's. I mean, on the field, the kid is talented as hell, but there's so much of this off the field stuff that I see coming up that raises too many red flags for me. That there could be that point of locker room issues down the road, things like that. He's got kind of that. I'm already the chosen one, and he believes his own hype kind of thing. It seems to me in a lot of the stuff. So and I've also seen him, when he has to play within structure. Sometimes he's not as effective as if he gets to go out and play hero ball. So
that's a great point, and I'm going to actually probably do a separate podcast with maybe Thursday or Friday with this guy, first round mock. He was a former New York Jets scout. Daniel Kelly, and he's been putting stuff out about obviously everybody's putting stuff out, but putting stuff out about Caleb Williams and passing like in structure, things like that, and it's just hard. I haven't watched a ton of tape, but some of the stuff I watch, it's like, okay, it is that hero ball seventh letter, like it looks like that. And I know you're not a fan of Justin Fields because of that hero ball, but
I don't like the fumbles in the fourth quarter.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Justin Fields. Yes, absolutely.
I don't like his fourth quarter quarterback read. How about that? You know what I mean? Hero ball. I did hero ball before. I know you. I haven't personally won with hero ball. You know what I mean? I haven't won any. Like I'm winning with the corniest quarterback on earth. You understand?
I don't know. I think Kirk Cousins is pretty corny too, though.
Yeah.
Right, but he wins. He's won more than both our quarterbacks for our respective teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shit, if he wouldn't have got hurt this year, I could see the Vikings probably being where the Packers are right now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I like hero ball. I love to watch it. Like, it's amazing. Like, it was amazing watching Stafford Sunday, but like, it can only take you. It's a tough way to live.
It is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, obviously Chicago Bears, post-mortem. I'm hoping that they can kind of springboard, into next year. Obviously, we have to beat the Packers. I mean, that's the number one thing, and that has to be on the wish list. It just has to happen.
Yeah, you got to beat the Packers.
Got to beat the Packers.
It is, bro.
Speaking of a team that has to beat the Packers, the 49ers. So, Trevor, give us a little preview and give us a path to the Packers continuing that, this unpredicted run through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So everything we've done to Dallas, San Francisco's done to us, right? Mm-hmm. They're 4-0 against us recently in playoffs. They've ran the ball down our throat. They've played incredible defense. I just think we just have to stop that trend. And I know it's different teams in different years, and it's just too eerie. And it's going to be tough. Like, I just want to be realistic in this matchup that it's going to be tough. These guys are legit. Like, if you would ask me beginning of the playoffs, who are you picking to win the Super Bowl? I'm saying the 49ers. Okay. And so they're good. They're great. They have so many Pro Bowlers, right? So I just want to admit that, there's Packer fans out there we're winning. There's no doubt about it. It's like, I think it's going to be tough. I mean, things are going to have to go our way. And I'm maybe even a call or two. And we've gotten a few of those this year. So I do think we have to run the ball. I do think we have to slow down their running game. I don't know how you slow down McCaffrey. The entire league's tried to do it. But they are 10-1 with McCaffrey getting 75 yards or higher in a game. Like, that's are you kidding me right now? And then Jair, is he gonna play? Like, he looked like he really hurt himself on Sunday. So I am nervous about it, to be honest with you, but we beat Kansas City without Jair. We beat Detroit without Jair. So we've beaten some good teams. Okay. So path to victory, we've got to protect Jordan Love and give him time, just like every week. That is number one thing we have to do. So that's the path. That's the path. You can't have Bosa running wild. You can't be, I'm sorry. You just can't have their pass rush killing us. And then because if that happens, then all of a sudden Jordan Love turns into the most accurate, incredible, great passer rating to like, oh my gosh, this is like they are. I think they're number one in interceptions. They're like their defense is like number 4 in the passing game. It's number 4 or something wild like that. So they're the real deal. And Ayuk and Debo are good, but our wide receivers, if we can get open, what I love about with Jordan Love is he passes the ball around. He spreads it around. Whoever's open gets the ball. And so, and last thing, listen, LaFleur cannot get out-coached again. Like, that's important. I don't know. This just did. It just seems like Shanahan has his number. You know what I mean? And so I just think all those things have to line up. And now, when I say all those things, don't you guys think, okay, Trev, like you just convinced me that there's no way the Packers have a chance. I think there's a chance. I think there's like a legit chance. The way we're playing right now is different. It's different. It's not this when we struggled. It's like it looks like we're legit, and we have to prove it. Everything has to be earned. You don't get like, you know what I mean?
I'd say I'm scared of a young team with a young quarterback that has no business being there and getting on a roll. And it seems like, this is what the Packers have done. I mean, even like, I go back to my Bears, the Bears game in week 18 and the Bears defense, obviously without Jalen Johnson, they held the Packers to 17 points. Right. But the Packers didn't punt in that game, so a lot of it was, ball control, they didn't punt. And so you go back to that. I mean, that really is, offensively, like just how much on a roll they are. And that, if I'm a 49ers fan or if I'm an anti-Packers fan, like I am, that scares me because like it's tough to really slow that down. I mean, now granted, the 49ers are better than the Cowboys, but 49ers are not, they can be beat. I mean, obviously they got beat by the Browns, right? And that was
the Vikings.
We beat them too. Yeah, on Monday Night Football. Yeah.
Well, and the Browns had their third string quarterback. They didn't even have Flacco at that point, and so there's definitely a path there. I think that Packer line is really starting to protect. And who's your guy on the line that's really kind of underrated that you don't hear? Elton Jenkins. Like he's been solid, hasn't he?
Tom too. Tom played.
Yeah, our O line has changed. Like I don't know what happened. It felt like part way through the season we had Love running for his life, and you know how that goes as fans of teams that happens, right? But I would love to know like why did the Vikings beat the 49ers, right? Like there's some paths to success there, like that. They got like Purdy. How many Purdy turnovers did that happen in that Vikings game? Right?
That was when the 49ers were hurt. The whole all the good people were hurt. Like Trent Williams didn't play.
Trent Williams was out in that game. Debo Samuel was out in the game. McCaffrey played. I mean, we kept McCaffrey in check, which I mean, it was a big thing there. And Purdy had 3 turnovers in that game, which if you can get Purdy flustered to that point where he starts making mistakes, then he falls apart.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. So we got a chance. So it's even better than the Dumb and Dumber quote. Like, so you're saying the chance 1 in a million. I think we have a legitimate chance to be in the game and to be there at the end, and then anything can happen. What I don't think is we're going to do to them like we did to Dallas and dominate them. I think this is a different team.
No.
But if we did, oh my goodness! You thought it was bad last week, Andy.
Well, I can see a path. I can see a path for you guys winning, because one thing that made it a little bit more easier for them to defeat the Packers, the 49ers, is when Aaron Rodgers was there, and we knew Aaron Rodgers was only going to throw to one person. And the difference now is Jordan Love is spreading that rock around. you don't really know these young guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like the Puka Nacua thing. Like, who the fuck? Who is this? You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he's open and why he keep making these explosives every time he touches the ball, but that's what Jalen Reed is to him, and that's what how's Dobbs wide open like this over the behind the linebacker. Like, we don't really know who to guard, and if we get the other guy Watson going, to push those safeties back and keep them honest, then you can kind of gash them with the run play. 49ers ain't been that good against the run this year. I don't know if you know that. So there's a path. I can see it happening very easily, because if that boy get hot, it can get ugly. Period.
Even if there was a comment earlier, if Dylan is going to be healthy, if he's back as well, I think someone had was that Chris?
Well, that'll be helpful, right?
Yeah,
that'll be helpful. But I think Christian Watson's going to have a big game. He hasn't been relevant for a while. I think like Dobbs, he was awesome last week, but he's not awesome every week. Reed, if we can get Reed going, he basically did nothing against Dallas, and so. You didn't hear, like you saw Watson catch one really significant catch, and then Reed, I don't know, did he have one catch on Sunday? Like, I don't even know.
Dobbs. That was a Dobbs, Aaron, whatever his name
Jones,
is. Right? Aaron Jones, and Musgrave game right there.
Yeah, and it's just scheming properly, right?
So they had no third down conversions, though. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
They had not one. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yo, shout out to Joe Barry, man, former Lion.
Right?
He maybe keep his job. Well, speaking of a team that no one thought had a chance, the Buccaneers, they are in advanced in the playoffs, and so seventh letter, give us a path to capturing the booty versus the Buccaneers at Ford Field.
Capturing the booty is funny as hell. I don't know, man. The same passes that Baker Mayfield was missing in Week 6, he ain't missing anymore. So. I don't think this is going to be an easy one for us. They have a defense. They're not that good against the pass, but they can stop the run. And when we can't play out, well, Jared Goff went out there and won the game by himself. I think that's his highest, attempts. I think he had 44 attempts against him that time, and we beat him kind of soundly. But Baker Mayfield was kind of trashed that game. But I mean, hopefully, they try to blitz Goff all game. I hope, because Jared Goff, although, he has 6 interceptions out of, when he's pressured, when they blitz him, he has 13 touchdowns as well. And those become explosive a lot of the time. And my man he's died. He looks like he has something to prove, man. And I think that he'll fare well against them. I'm venturing into, I'm kind of scaring myself. I'm venturing into scary territory. I'm scared to say it. Super Bowl. I'm scared.
Well, I didn't. So and obviously, it's tough to compare games. And there were some Packer fans that were like, "Oh, the Lions just barely won, and we destroyed." You can't compare the Lions.
Stafford would have did that to them too.
Yeah, the Rams are legit, and when you look at the oh, good.
I was going to say the biggest thing about the Cowboys when they came into the playoffs, they remembered that they're the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Right. Right.
Well, and with the Buccaneers, who they faced, I mean, obviously they faced the Eagles without AJ Brown.
But that I don't know what's going on. You know what it is?
Yeah, Sirianni.
You know what I saw? Because I had that fat motherfucker as my coach for 2.5 years. He's still doing that shit.
I saw that meme.
Linebackers, those big ass linebackers in terrible coverage situations. He's still playing man, and everybody knows it. Everybody. Yo, I said, how many games that was like, yo, man, they played well in the first half. They're a real good team, but they wouldn't come out of man. They just wouldn't. And that's why all those explosive, I mean, of course, the tackling, but they had so many broken tackle, long touchdowns. It was crazy. That's not going to happen against us. That's not going to happen.
I saw that meme of Matt Patricia going in, the Grim Reaper going in and killing the Lions and then killing the Patriots and then killing the Eagles.
He's a clown. Yo, the Eagles figured him out that last Super Bowl before we hired him. Like they had 500 yards and he got a job the next week. He shouldn't have got one. He shouldn't have. He's living off that interception against the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's living off of. I found out something else today. The reason why Patriot assistant coaches suck as head coaches. You know how, like on any other NFL team, the players look at the game tape with their respective position coach. Bill Belichick makes all the players and all the coaches, and they watch the game together. And he holds them accountable one by one, makes the defense hold the offensive people accountable, and the offensive people hold the defensive people accountable. He's the coach. He's the everything to that Patriot organization. This is why none of them work out. They don't have his cash. They don't have what Bill Belichick has. They're not him. And I think everybody was chasing that. And Matt Patricia has the name from those Super Bowls with Bill Belichick, and he's not that. He's not good, yo. He's not. Horrible. And
Same thing with Josh McDaniels too.
Same thing.
Yeah,
same
absolutely.
thing. He shouldn't have never got a job. They caught him cheating. They caught him cheating.
McDaniels failed miserably when he was with Denver, so the Raiders go ahead and we saw him fail miserably. We can do better with him.
Horrible.
I mean, it is the Raiders. I mean,
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I think they finally learned their lesson on sounding like Antonio Pierce is going to get the job there. They should have given Bisaccia the job after when he took over from Gruden.
Yeah, thank God they did. I think that's Dan Campbell right there, man. Let's get a player coach. Fuck this.
Yeah. I mean, the way he turned things around, like even McDaniels. That story about McDaniels, not liking how Antonio Pierce was talking about the Patriots, like
right. How the Giants had no chance against the Patriots, and that was incredible.
Yes.
If that don't right, like we could beat anybody. Yo, we got to believe in each other. All that it was great.
Yeah.
Said, that's a weasel. That's a weasel. That is a very, very insecure man that says something like that. He begged him. He begged that man to talk to the players too, because he couldn't get through to him.
Yeah.
Out of here, man.
So Trevor, let's go around and make some picks. Trevor, are you picking the Lions to win this week?
Yeah, I am actually. I think they're the better team. The problem is that, and I think Seven Letter said it, is that Baker Mayfield's better than everyone thinks. I think what the problem is they think that Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel. He's not.
No.
Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. He was a pick, like a top pick for a reason, and he's survived and he's had some rough starts, but man, he looks good. So that's the only thing that really gets me nervous, because their wide receiver core is amazing. But I'm going Lions because I think the run game is going to, even though they're really good against the run, I think the Detroit Lions are better. They're going to find a way to run the ball, and then it will just open everything else up.
Yeah, and watching the Buccaneers versus the Bears, even, like, I think the Bears had an opportunity late and to win.
It was an interception. Go ahead.
I figured you'd bring that up, so I am also going to pick the Lions as well. Rhino, are you going with the Lions?
Yeah, I mean like you guys were saying, Baker Mayfield has shown me a lot. I mean, the guy's played last week with banged up ribs and a couple other fairly significant bumps and bruises, and he out there playing with a lot of grit. So it would not surprise me at all to see Tampa Bay come in and steal one in Detroit. But I think Detroit is the better team. If Tampa Bay can get that pass game going, I think that's a path for them to win that game. But I do think Detroit, like I said, Detroit probably pulls this one out. I think it's going to be a lot closer game than I think some people think.
Yeah, minus 6.5 for the Lions.
I think it might be closer than that.
Yeah, I think the Lions are they've been playing teams close. They're not like blowing them out right now.
Yeah, sometimes we'll blow somebody out sometime, but usually
like we showed against Nick Mullins, threw for 800 yards against the Lions in 2 games. Of course, he also threw 7 interceptions, but So
I think that's what we're doing. We blitzing to create the turnover. So with all the yards, we have our turnover rate went up. And also notice, like, it's not, we don't have, I mean, other than the Vikings know us. And again, y'all got the best receiver on earth. Don't get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we played against the top. We played against Justin
DJ
Jefferson
Moore
twice.
as well.
Justin Jefferson twice. CD Lamb. Then we went up against Puka Nacua. But it's only one guy. We only let one guy kick our ass. That's it. That's all we're gonna give you. We're gonna give you one guy. That's it. And I like Vildor, by the way. I like him. He's fast. I like he's fast. The fact that he's fast, he gives us something else on the outside. It's a tough way to live, without a doubt. Like it's definitely a very, very tough way to live. But we're 4-1 playing that style. 4-1. All right. It's tough though. It's really tough to watch, but we're keeping teams out of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
They're keeping the ball. They keep taking it downfield. The games are a lot shorter. The quarterbacks look amazing, but they ain't scoring. They ain't throwing touchdowns in the red zone. So in the red zone, things tighten up, and we holding the field goals. I'm okay with that.
Well, Roasty has saying same things you are, like, it's basically the bend don't break a lot on defense. Glenn, shout out to him. I mean, you talk about, coordinators and coaches making adjustments. As a Bears fan, I don't know anything about that, but when you have coaches that are going to make adjustments in game, that's kind of a smart thing to do. If you're at that high of a level, and obviously defensively he has. And
we got Vildor and Sutton on the outside. They're not really good cornerbacks, you know what I'm saying? But our safeties are okay. And
if Vildor wins a Super Bowl with the Lions, oh my gosh.
Yo, Vildor's been playing all right for me. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, other than the CD Lamb, I mean, he had one with Atwell. He almost picked that off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm really not mad at that. They got to come to Detroit. It's loud. I'm going to need some of them timeouts, Todd Bowles. I know Todd Bowles' brother. That's my boy. He's from Jersey. You know what I mean? But I just need that crowd to do what they did last week. I need us to make Aiden Hutchinson, man. I people don't like him. I like him because when it's time for him to make a play, he makes a play. He got that holding penalty at the end. You know what I'm saying? He has 7 sacks the last 3 games. That's when we needed him. We needed him. He was 6.5 sacks for like 7 weeks. You know what I'm saying? At the end, he came through. We needed him. I think we got a good chance to win. I think it's going to be 35-10.
35-10. I see that. And I was going to let you know, I did end up talking to Roger Goodell at the draft this past April, and he was kind of letting me know a little bit about the script. So I should have kind of known this. I think the script is this year, and Trevor, you might enjoy this as well. I think he told me the script. He kind of whispered a little bit. I think the script is it's going to be Lions Packers for the Super Bowl. I'm going to go ahead. Trevor, I'm going to pick the Packers to win.
What?
It's going to be Packers Lions to go to the Super Bowl. I don't.
You're doing no. Just wait a minute. You're doing reverse psychology.
No. I like I told you. Well, a little bit, but I am scared of how the momentum that the Packers are having, and I am still not completely sold on what the 49ers have at quarterback. Right? We still don't know. In the big moments, right? We don't know. I mean, and obviously we don't know about, Jordan Love yet either, but he, just the momentum he's having, that scares me a little bit. So I think obviously a lot of people saying the NFC North was the worst division in football.
Oh man, where's Craig? Where's he?
Craig is, but yeah, look at it. If it is the Packers versus the Lions, to get to the Super Bowl. Plus, you look at how competitive, the Bears were. Obviously, dominated the Lions, most of the season, and then even the Vikings doing well. So really, I mean, we quite possibly could be one of the best divisions in the NFL. How about that?
Yeah, they had the we got a whole bunch of good coaches in our division.
Wow.
Other than you.
3 good coaches, yeah.
Yeah, 3 good coaches and pretty good front offices, you know what I mean? Like your front office is put together that defense. So
they are, and they're really
and the NFC East is going
they
down.
Are.
Because
the
the Cowboys have to pay Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to pay them a lot.
And they're also talking about a Dak extension too. So
exactly. So you know they're gonna have their money in 3 players. Like we gonna still be able to run the ball on them up and down the field.
So seventh letter, are you picking the Niners or the Packers?
I think the Packers can win. I do. My eyes aren't lying to me. Like I know what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Like the Cowboys do suck in the playoffs, and I really honestly we were all falling for the slam dunk again with the Cowboys. They're bullies. They beat the shit out of bad teams. They just do. And they had a whole bunch of wins at home against bad teams. They cheated us, and then the Packers went in and whooped their ass because they showed everything against us. You know what I mean? It ain't like they didn't prepare either. Like it's just they just got outclassed by a better coach, a better scheme, and that old school shit that Mike McCarthy and Quinn does. It's over. It's not the Seahawk era no more. It's over. That Seahawk shit don't work no more.
Well, it's crazy because now Dan Quinn I think he's gotten like 5 or 6 interviews for a head coach.
And he's going to get a job, and he's going to lose again like he did remember, Shanahan is who carried that Atlanta team. You know what I mean? With that scheme. It's a different day. They better go young, man. They better go young. You can't. It's over. That old shit is done.
Rhino, are you picking the Packers or the 49ers?
San Francisco was my Super Bowl pick to start the season, so I'm sticking with them. I really like San Francisco's defense. I have for the last couple of years. You know, they have holes, but
who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. Christian McCaffrey's in a league of his own. That guy is the only running back in the NFL that's worth the money he's getting paid. You know, you got Swiss Army knife Debo and all that there. The biggest thing is can Barry's crew make Brock Purdy uncomfortable and start throwing those interceptions? If they do, then the Packers stand a very good chance of winning the game. Shanahan is a hell of a coach. He's been a hell of a coach for many years. I think San Francisco it's going to be a close game, but I think San Francisco takes it.
And Trevor, you said it's going to be tough. Do you think the Packers are going to win?
I predicted the Packers were going to go 9-8, and they were going to be in the playoffs, like in the wild card hunt. I said that means we got a shot to make the playoffs. I was right. You know what I was wrong about? Every single week, I said the Bears were going to beat us in week 1. I said we were going to beat the Buccaneers. I said we were going to beat the Giants. I said we're going to lose to the Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm keeping it rolling, guys. San Francisco's going to win. And I'm loving being wrong. I picked Dallas last week. Now, granted, I picked we were going to beat the Bears in week 18. I picked we were going to beat the Vikings. I picked we were going to beat the Panthers because I knew that we needed to do that to make the playoffs. So I had to get it right. But I'm telling you, I'm just like, if Seventh Letter can't wear a jersey watching his team play in the playoffs, I'm picking the other team, and I'm happy to be wrong. I'm picking the 49ers to win. I have no idea what the score is. I'm telling you right now, I've never watched the Packers ever. I'm so tense every time I watch the Packers this year. Like, I'm nervous. I'm like, come on, we got to do this. And it's like, you don't fail us now. And I mean, even Carlson, like, kick a flipping extra point, bro. Like, you want to get it. You want to keep your job. You want to make millions of dollars. Hit an extra point, right? Like, everything seems stressful to me this year. It's like I don't know what's going to happen. But at the same time, the victories are sweeter. So I'm picking the 49ers, and I'm cheering. I'm all in on cheering for my Packers, and I hope that we win, because if we do, I'm telling you right now, if we win Sunday or Saturday, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, and I don't mean that disrespectful to any other team we play, but if we beat San Francisco, we have a legitimate, like, it's no longer, I don't know. It's like, this is the real deal now. And now we could lose NFC Championship game. I get it. But I'm going to flip the switch. I'm going to turn into Mr. Confident.
I don't want to live in a world where Jordan Love wins the Super Bowl his first year. Oh my God!
Ain't gonna be able to tell me shit if I get to the Super Bowl, brother.
I think I might have to deactivate my Twitter account if that happens.
Yes,
like,
I'm gonna be a tyrant. Yes, I am.
But think about it, guys. So last year, Aaron Rodgers lost to the Detroit Lions, right? So he lost to get into the playoffs. He's been 0-4 against the San Francisco 49ers. If we beat San Francisco with Jordan Love, and then we go into Detroit and win again, that's going to be wild.
I think I'm going to have to move. I literally am going to have to move to Wisconsin. I cannot live in Wisconsin now. It's insufferable as it is now. Like, just this, title town this, title town that, and we're back. And I just, what I can't believe either, I mean, in all this talk, what I can't believe is, you look at the 49ers minus 9.5. I mean, I just can't believe it's that big of a spread. No. With what happened with what the Packers did against the Cowboys. You would think it would be a little bit closer than that.
No, that's just they know, like Vegas knows that the Cowboys wasn't that good. We all know it was like I knew what it was. Like, that's why when they were saying we was gonna get blowed out and all that, like, I knew it wasn't gonna be like that. They're not that good. They are good, but no.
See, this is I love Roasty's comment here. The rest of these playoffs are gravy for the Packers, as young as they are this season. And this is what I do love this. And obviously this is I have all my stuff ready if the Packers do lose, right? Because, that's the biggest thing. Packers say we only celebrate championship banners and things like that. And so I totally get it. And I'm totally going to give everyone a hard time on Twitter and everything if the Packers lose and you're celebrating the season. But I totally get it, because as a Bears fan, if the Bears were this far along in a rebuild to get to this far in the playoffs, I would also be celebrating, right? But, as a Bears fan, I have to give Packers fans a hard time, regardless.
But, shouldn't the Bears could be in our situation? The Vikings could be in our situation, right? Like, if Justin Fields plays 4.5 games, maybe you're in the playoffs. If Kirk Cousins doesn't get hurt, maybe you're in the playoffs. I don't know.
In other words,
but at the end of the day, you're not, and we are, and it's just been like the way we're winning is like, wow, we look legitimate. Like, that's just a fact.
It's basically what he's saying in 7th letter terms. I'll be his translator. Basically, if you draft better and. If the Bears draft better or other teams? Well, but that's
the thing. I think
like us.
Well, so there's one thing, like, you can draft better, but then you also have to coach better. Like, you can draft all these great players, but it doesn't translate. And when you look at defensively, there are a lot of players, young players that the Bears hit on. There's starters that are really doing well. And now they've got more draft capital, going into next year, but it's offensively there was just a disconnect, and that was the thing, that's why I'm still in on Fields. You can't, have a coordinator that's going to try to change his footwork, that's going to call screens, and be so predictable. You have to have, a coordinator and coaches that are going to trust their players and that are going to allow them to succeed and fail. And I think that's the good thing that LaFleur did from week one.
Right, so who is your offensive coordinator, Trevor?
Well, technically it's
his brother, right? It's his brother. It's his little brother, right? That's your offensive coordinator. Yeah, it's his little brother. His little brother.
No, it was another guy that some people have had issues with, but technically, I believe LaFleur's been the guy that's kind of been the play caller, right?
Yeah.
But so, I mean, that's the thing though. Like, I think, what I was saying, like week 1, they trusted, and you can see it throughout the season. They trusted Jordan Love to just, sling it, and make mistakes. Right. And he was making some mistakes really bad, versus the Raiders, but then they were letting him learn. And that was Getsy wasn't letting Fields learn. They were like, nope, you're going to be, do what we want, and we're smarter than everybody else. And you need to have coaches that are going to listen to their players. And that's why, obviously I am jealous of the Packers. I am even jealous of the Lions.
Mike LaFleur is the offensive coordinator for the Rams.
Yes, that's what it
Right.
is. Yes.
Mhm.
Right. So Mike LaFleur used to be the offensive coordinator for the Jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the quarterback for the Jets is Zach Wilson. He sucks, right? All right. So maybe, just maybe, Getsy don't suck that bad. And maybe
he does.
All right. Maybe when you trust your quarterback, you call better plays. All right. They don't trust Justin Fields. And we all know why, and you know why. You know why. You saw that last game. You know why they don't trust him. Don't lie. You know why.
No. I'm still in on Fields. I'm still in on Fields.
You're comfortable with that even after that last game against the Packers. You're comfortable with that.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
don't you think
Absolutely.
and if you're looking at coaching staffs, right? Or staff coaching, whatever it is. The Bears are the worst in our division, and it's not close.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I think I've been in on that. I like Kevin O'Connell. I like what he's done,
Yeah, he's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's no weak coaching staff. I mean, Joe Barry's been like, people are really angry at him and up and
He's
down,
just
and
this, yo. That's all.
people are turning around on him now. If they come and beat the 49ers, maybe that's they seal it, But like, 3 of the 4 teams have excellent coaching staff.
Now, at the end of the year, though, Detroit is going to lose one, if not both, of their coordinators to head coaching jobs. Probably Ben Johnson's going to be a head coach somewhere.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me to see Aaron Glenn get a job somewhere either.
What surprises me is that Brian Flores is not getting any interviews, and I don't know if it's part of his defenses toward the end of the year have been
They figured it out.
I think that there's a little bit of that with the injury stuff we had. There's still that whole lawsuit thing hanging over him a little bit, but I also think Flores was, he was going to be picky about where he was going to go, if he was to get a head coaching job. If Mayo hadn't been waiting in the wings for New England, I think Flores would have been a prime candidate for there. But
they gave they gave him Tua Tagovailoa. Like, yo, come on, man, give me a quarterback. Like, we saw the best Tua we'll probably ever see in life. Mike McDaniel's got the most you could possibly get out of him.
Yes, I love
Mike in the AFC.
Yeah,
you can't. He's from the Patriots. You can't have that weak, wiggly arm quarterback in that conference. You can't.
Yeah,
just actually that division. Everywhere in that division is cold.
Yeah, everywhere. That's a great point. That's a great point.
With that, that's why it was mad. Wouldn't you? Don't none of us want Tua. None of us.
No.
Well, that was part of it, but obviously, the owner did him wrong too. I think there was a lot of issue there.
It did.
I was pissed.
But I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say with Flores, when Kevin O'Connell did his, day after the season was over thing, the way he was talking the thing, I mean, it sounded to me like it was all but they fully expected Flores was coming back. So there may have been something too, Flores saying, hey, I got unfinished business here. I'm not really interested in going after head coaching job this cycle, check in with me next time around, maybe. Mm-hmm. I've kind of heard a little bit of rumblings about that as well. So that may play a part in it too.
Timing could be everything too. I mean, maybe he'll end up the Bears coach when Eberflus is fired. Who knows?
You're not gonna fuck up another quarterback.
No.
Fuck him up with a new coach. Like, I just got here. I gotta learn another offense.
You know, and it's hard. I hate to admit this, but that would be so Bears, just the way things have done. But I do trust in kind of what Poles has done, you know, and in just Ian Cunningham is also getting interviews, you know, so they've got a structure in place. So I think just, you know, I'm not one of those fans that's going to be like living and die with every single game. Obviously, there's, you know, some select games that I'm living and dying with, but I think you have to look at the long-term plan, and the teams that are successful in the division have done that. Obviously, the Lions took a long time to get there, but you saw that long-term plan, and it's coming to fruition now. And the Packers, unfortunately, it's a shorter long-term plan, but it really was that 3 year.
It was a long-term.
It was, yeah.
It was. That quarterback sat on the bench for 2 years.
Well, and they had the offensive
3
line.
years, not bad.
when you look at it, the one thing too, and obviously, I keep forgetting his name that played in the Bears game, and that was his Super Bowl, and then he's done. He was done for the rest of the season. But anyway, you look at just, you know, the structure that they had around Love, the offensive line, you know, Elton Jenkins. You have a solid offensive line, then a quarterback can really learn, and that's you can't just throw a young quarterback in and expect them to be running for their life. You know, obviously.
Look at CJ Stroud. Yeah, he had a left tackle. Look at him.
Yeah,
he looks like the next, you know, Joe Burrow.
And what happened to Bryce Young, right? You know,
right.
He didn't have anything, and he looked awful.
Or even Justin Fields last year. I mean, let's throw him into the Cleveland Browns game. Let's get him killed. We just drafted him. Let's get him killed. No, you have to have an offensive line. And so, you know, obviously, you know, look at the Packers. They have done it right. That is the model. But, you know, obviously this has been a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm, you know, glad everyone has, you know, joined us in the chat. A lot of great comments tonight. You know, lots to think about, lots to get ready for Sunday. Thanks for joining us again, Rhino. Where can everyone find you?
At Vikings Uncensored on YouTube, Vikings Uncensored Podcast on Facebook, live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, and Friday shows 6 p.m. Central times. We go live as often as we can on that one. Sometimes they're pre-recorded. Also at Vikes Uncensored on Twitter /X. And we kind of bounce around all over the place on social media. So you'll see us someplace out around the way there. So
all great stuff. Lots to talk about in the coming weeks as far as draft and all that stuff as well. Where can everyone find you, Trevor, as we close?
Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna go live right after this video. After the jumping off here, I'm gonna go live. I gotta get this video done. I'm doing 5 keys to the Packers' victory over the San Francisco 49ers. I'll give my predictions there. So just follow me on Kempner Sports on Facebook and YouTube, and that would be great.
Hey, you know, I have actually gained quite a few new Packer followers. How about that? You know, trolling the
Perfect.
Packers, and now I'm gaining a lot of Packer followers. Hopefully, they're following you because they actually have actual Packer content as opposed to trolling Packer content for me. But you know, I'd love to do it. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, tune into that. I'm going to have it on, but I'll kind of be listening a little bit because it's just stuff I don't want to hear yet. I don't want to hear it, Trevor. I don't want to hear keys to the Packers continuing, although they may. So, but obviously that'll be interesting to hear. So, Seventh Letter, where can everyone find you as we close out?
You can find me on 7th Letter 4 on Instagram. On Twitter X, same OG on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook. And also on top of the NFC North. And we still in the game. We still did it. We play the Bucks. Tune in on Sunday, 3:00. Enjoy the game. I am Trevor. Good luck to your game. Matthew, I'm so sorry, son. I'm so sorry. I had to spank you this week. I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. It's 16's town now, baby. See y'all, man. See y'all Sunday. Enjoy the game, y'all. Everybody be safe. All right.
Tell you what, though, I mean, it really could. You're setting up a possible epic, maybe rematch for the NFC North title next. In the following week. Lots to play for this week. It's going to be an exciting week. Obviously, everyone can find me on Facebook, on Twitter X, and I try not to do the live stuff, but lot of great content. During the games as well. So thanks again, everybody. Once again, it's been the Freezin for NFC North podcast. We will catch you next week, and we will see how the playoffs shake out. Thanks again, everybody.
All right. Hey, Justin. He's sitting over there next to him.